You know, it's older than the state of Idaho, yet it's never too late to be breaking some new ground. This spring, for the first time, the students of the University of Idaho have elected a black woman to lead their student government. Aspen Shumpert spoke to her today about taking on this pivotal role during a time of significant change and challenges when it comes to diversity initiatives on campus.
The University of Idaho's history is scattered with significant firsts for black students.
We as black students have kind of trickled into the university and continue to come into spaces that are predominantly white and trying to do our best to leave a mark on this university in positive ways.
In 1899, Jenny Eva Hughes became the first black person to graduate from the university.
I think it would have been terrifying, but I think there's this sort of pressure that students of color and black students alike can feel when they're in these spaces and when they walk through the world, that they have to work 2 times as hard to get, to the same space.
Black student athletes in the early 1960s, like Gus Johnson and Ray McDonald, who became All-Americans, were instrumental in diversifying the university's athletic teams. Later, 6 other black student athletes formed the Black Student Union in 1971, creating a cultural home for black students facing housing discrimination off campus.
When, there aren't a lot of people who look like you in these spaces, having an area where you can just be yourself, where you can relax, where you don't have to worry about code switching or, presenting a front.
U of I sophomore Seyi Arogundade is part of that same black student union. In fact, this school year, she served vice president of that student club.
To this day, that is something that the Black Student Union offers, a space for people to laugh and enjoy and chill and not have to be so on alert all the time.
Now, Seyi is writing her own chapter of history, becoming the first black female student body president at the university.
If you want your voice heard, you need to be in these rooms and you need to be in these spaces and you need to be in these positions.
She's had her eye on leadership since a young age.
I was at a U Idaho Bound event with my dad, and I saw former President Tanner McLean speaking on stage and talking to the incoming class and incoming freshmen. And I looked at my dad and I was like, I want his job. And my dad said, okay, go for it.
Her election comes just months after the university closed its 6 diversity, equity, and inclusion offices to comply with state law banning these offices on college campuses.
Even though the DEI cuts are happening, we still value having different perspectives. We still value having different voices and seeing those voices in power.
Seyi admits she wasn't sure she'd get the role.
I don't know if it's really hit me all yet that I've been able to kind of make this kind of history, but I'm excited that, I took initiative and I could do this and that people believed in me. And I hope this gives the students the opportunity to do the same.
Seyi says her and her vice president, Brian, have a couple goals in mind, including finding ways for student clubs to access funding opportunities. They're looking at ways to add more events around campus for students, and they plan to head down to the State House to speak with lawmakers to make sure the Vandal voice is heard. We'll have to catch up with them when they make their way to Boise, but both very eager to be in their positions.
You mentioned the first black graduate from U of I. It goes way back.
Yep.
One of the first classes. How many times have they elected just a black student body president?
This is the first time for that as well. There
Really?
has not been a male black student body president as well. So Seyi is the first female, but she also is the first black student to be elected as student body president.
It is interesting. We've dug into this kind of topic before with the University of Idaho, and it was usually the black athletes that kind of spoke out and said, hey, we're accepted on the fields and on the courts, but when we get outside of that, we don't feel like we're accepted. And as she points out, it's nice to have that place where you can relax and feel comfortable.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, that's fun to watch, see how that plays out. Thank you very much, Aspen.